Okay, people. So, hitting Shudder, you know what I mean? Great horror platform coming there just in time for Halloween is Horror Noire. Yes, people. It's an anthology, right? And you know, I mean, Shudder has had a lot of success with some really good anthology series over the years, right? I mean, we've talked about them. Yeah, we've talked about them all, really. I feel. I mean, the most recent ones, right? And yeah, they've been fun. You know, we had what Scare Package. Um, God damn it. You know, it's always the way, isn't it? When you have to remember, then you forget. But I mean, obviously, there's Creep Show, right? Ugh. Yeah, what were the other ones? Fuck. And they were good. they were honestly good. My memory stinks. Yummy. Yes, Yummy. And is it the Mortuary? Ugh, I can't say words. The Mortuary Collection. Man, yeah, I enjoyed those. You know what I mean? There was some very good stuff in there. But again, yes, you know what I mean? Shudder, they've thrown their hat out there with another one. But this one, you know, there's a bit of a difference because, well, first thing, it is based on the 2018, I think it came out. It was a book, right? Horror Noire, Blacks in American Horror Films from the 1980s to present, right? So this was from, oh gosh, Robin R. Means Coleman. Yeah, actually, people. Yeah, no, it wasn't then. It came out in, when is it? Actually, I'm not quite sure. I've lost it. 2018, right? And then in 2019, there was a documentary based on the book called Horror Noire, A History of Black Horror, right? Which kind of, you know, worked with the themes from the book, but we had interviews from the likes of Jordan Peele, Tony Todd, Rusty Condillath, Keith David, and more. Right, so there was that, and now this Horror Noire in 2021, right? It's like a cousin, right? Because it's not a film based on like any particular thing from this, but you know, I mean, it's utilizing the themes and you know, like what the book and documentary were talking about, like a black talent is leading the way, right? So every it's made up of 6 short films, and they have all been directed by black talent, written, you know, produced, and their leads black talent, right? So it's a showcase for that. Now, it's not to say it's just all black people in there. No, obviously there are people of all different ethnicities in the piece, but it's just a showcase for black talent to be able to, you know, shine and have a platform to be like, yo, this is what we can do, you know? Which, yeah, that's good. That's good. It's good, man. And so yeah, this is, you know, from Shudder. It's a Shudder original, AMC. You know, they were behind it. So everyone from the, you know, the documentary, they kind of served as executive producers on this, right? So you know, we had Robin Means Coleman, who was also a consultant, Ashley Blackwell, Phil Noble Jr., and Kelly Ryan. So yes, they were overall kind of producers, but yes, each segment they had their own kind of thing, and it was kind of all headed up by Tamara Do. Tamara Do. Ugh, I'm really bad with fucking names. Jesus Christ. Sometimes I wonder what the fuck is wrong with me, people. Gosh, Tanarive Jew, not Tamara, Tanarive Jew. So she was one of the main writers. And yeah, like, you know, with anthologies, there's always a mixed bag, right? And it, like, there's never anything just downright terrible, but there's definitely things that are stronger than others, right? And that's the kind of case with this, you know. But I will say, they dealt with some really, you know, big themes, right? There wasn't shit that was shied away from here, which that's pretty impressive, you know. It wasn't trying to be too safe or set, like, oh, we can't deal with that topic, oh, you know, we don't want to, so like, lewd the black people up. No, it didn't do that. It messed with everything. I mean, and it's definitely out the gate. Out the gate, it came out kind of hard. You're like, oh shit, you're alluding to that? Okay, you know what I mean? Like, we looked at, ooh, I mean, there was like themes of community. That I feel there was themes of, I'd say, like, loyalty, but like loyalty to the culture, loyalty to the race, you know, which I thought was, that was definitely, you know what I mean, something to put out there, right? They were dealing with money, like, you know what I mean? Like, is there an amount that will make you do certain things or forgo certain things? You know, we looked at fatherhood, motherhood, right? What's it to be a woman? You know, there was cults, racism, you know, unconscious bias. That was all weaved within these stories. And it wasn't overly clunky or forced. You know what I mean? Which was definitely a good thing, because boy, yeah, that can get a little mess, right? When everything is just a bit too like ham-fisted, and you're like, oh, all right, we get it, people. What are you doing to us here? What the fuck are you doing to us? So yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool, right? And yeah, so as I said, right, we had 6 pieces, you know, and we started off with The Lake. So this was directed by Joe West and is based on a short story from Tanarive Jew, and she wrote the script with Stephen Barnes. Okay, so what's really interesting is there's stuff that is alluded to, but it never fully comes out, right? And the way it's played, we really, I think you come out feeling a certain way for some characters, and then as it goes on, you're kind of like, should I feel bad? I don't know. I don't know, right? That was it. And Oh my gosh. Apologies, man. So yeah, it was about a teacher who has relocated. You know, we start she's moving into a house, right? Moving into this lake house. And well, I mean, well, first of all, it starts off with everyone, a load of people standing around a lake. Then police pull out a body, and you hear, "Is that the Reverend?" Right. Then we jump forward in time, and Abby Lafleur moves in, and you know something has gone wrong. She looks harrowed, right? She looks harrowed. We see her, you know, drop something, and she picks up, and it's a picture of her and her husband. So you're assuming like she's lost her husband, right? And she gets a call from a friend, and the call is very sympathetic. It's like, "Yo, you're not broken. You'll be fine. You can get through this. It's okay. You're a strong woman. It's cool." So yeah, you kind of feel, oh man, she must have been through something bad, man. Says, what's going down? But you know, then she gets a warning, like, don't swim in the lake, from this old dude who you think, oh, could be a little suspect, right? So it's dealing with this, and we're seeing these odd things suddenly occur. At first, you wonder, is it a dream, right? But then, I think as it goes on, you're like, oh, oh, and we are getting alluded that something else happened that led Abby to this spot, and it's not what we think. And the way then certain things are happening and we're seeing, we do kind of wonder, be like, oh, are you saying that Abby is you know? But yeah, no, I thought this was a good jump off point, right? I thought it got the intrigue. There was some creepiness in there, but you know, it was a nice little balance. And yeah, it came out with this, you know, tabooish subject, guised in a horror, and I thought that was interesting. And it is a nice way to kind of, you know, set the boat out. I feel like, yeah, set the boat out. The next one was A Brand of Evil. So this is directed by Julian Christian Lutz, right? Otherwise known as Director X. And it is written by Ezra Clayton Daniels. So what's like, we open up, right, and we have you know, a graffiti artist, a killer, I think his name was, and yeah, we see him doing a mural, right? He's getting bugged by a guy, you know, and at first you'll wonder, because the topics that get gauged in this opening conversation, it's interesting, right? Because there is this whole like narrative of you know, you should help someone, right? Even if you might not have money, like you're kind of owed to, which is like, I mean, right? If you don't have money, you can't help. You know what I mean? There is limits to things that we can do. So that's kind of gauged, but we then see that Akela, I don't think that's right, but I'm going to just say Akela, right? We see him get an offer, a mysterious offer to do logo work, right? And this offer, it kind of is, you know, he's meant to be doing this mural to help with this community food bank. They're having a big event, and the mural is going to be the big piece for this event. So if he's missing work, it's impacting on their ability to raise money and donations and all of that kind of thing, right? But the guy, this mysterious guy, he offers a lot of money. And Kayla's like, I mean, okay. But we then start to see these things happen. Mysterious things happen. Right? He gets another offer. But while doing it, right, his boyfriend's boss drops a little bit of knowledge. Right? Drops a bit of knowledge, which is like, ooh. Oh, and I think it's one of those things where I think most people might be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, nah. But the money, right? It's the money that tempts homie to continue. And we see the fallout of these things, and it plays on, and it's very interesting. Because as I said earlier, right? It's that thing of how much money for you to, say to your morals, right? And do some things that maybe, I mean, there's no maybe about it, right? They're not good. They're not good things. But so I thought that was interesting. I thought that I very much enjoyed that one too. We then had Bride Before You, right? Which is who directed Bride Before You? Oh, God damn it! This is a bit irritating. I can't see that information. Right. It's directed by Zandeshi Brown, and it is written by Shernaud Edwards, who is basing it on a short story of the same name. Right? So, yeah. Oh, no, the short story, is by Stephanie Malia Morris. My bad. Now, this one, it's like a, it's kind of like it's set in slavery times. You know what I mean? And it's in Washington, right? And it's about a woman who marries a rich businessman. So we kind of get opened up, and it's talking about, if you're the firstborn, you have to get married. You're expected to be the first one to marry. And she got to a certain age where it's just like, I can't be picky. So I'm right, fine. I marry this guy. He's got money, and it should allow me to at least get out of this situation, like the poverty, and kind of move up a bit. And I think promises are made, but maybe they're not getting kept, right? All of that. But dude wants a kid. He wants a kid, but a kid's not coming, right? A kid's not coming. Shit. People, I apologize. Right, kid's not coming. And, it's one of those things where a lot of the time, it's not actually the woman. It might be the dude blowing blanks, or just, slow swimmers. Because I think that's what has been alluded with Henry VIII. You know what I mean? How he's blaming all his wives for not having kids or not having a son. But they kind of think it was maybe him. You know what I mean? But obviously, you're not gonna be like, it might be my boys. You know what I mean? It's like, woman, you meant to give me a kid. You're not. So I'm gonna go and do my thing elsewhere. But so we have her visit a local healer woman to get a remedy to help her conceive. And it all kind of revolves around this, right? It is interesting. It is interesting. It's kind of creepy. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. It's one of those ones where I think it's a shame it didn't have a bit more time to breathe. You know, because it was good, but I think with maybe a bit more time to really construct this story, I think it might have worked a little bit more like that, you know? We then have Fugue State, which, ooh, it's a bit of an interesting one, right? A bit of an interesting one. It's from Malcolm Barrett, right? And yeah, it's about well, no, so Michael Barrett stars in it with Rachel True, which it was a real nice to see Rachel in something. Like, oh shit, Rachel True, nice. So this is written by Tanariv Jew and Stephen Barnes again, based on a short story they both wrote, and it's directed by Rob Robert Greenlear. And yeah, so she's a journalist and he is a researcher looking into religion and, is religion a cult? Right. So it kind of deals with that. She's dealing with these murders that have, and attacks that have been happening. And it's a bit of an interesting one about, the magnetism of preachers, right? So, yeah, I mean, you can't really say too much about this one without giving it away. I did, though, think that, again, this is one of those ones that might have, if it had a bit more time to really, permeate, it would have really delivered. Like, it was interesting, it was decent, but I think more time would have really let this one come alive, So yeah, the last two, very interesting, right? We had one called Daddy, which is by Victor Laval, right? And he also wrote the short story this was based on. Okay? And yeah, it's interesting. Robin Givens, she directed it, right? And yeah, it was about a couple. They've got a young child, and it's kind of like the bond between the dad and the kid, right? And we see him at the very beginning get into an elevator, and an old man, he starts talking about fatherhood, right? And how separations can be created and all of this. And as it's going on, right, the kid who had trouble sleeping on his own, right? And I'm just saying, they made him a kick-ass bed, right? They made him a kick-ass bed. It was like, yo, you know what I mean? Even though it was an adaptation of a kennel, but not used. But yeah, we get this whole thing about, I think, the demons inside, right? Because he didn't know his dad, right? And I think that has been playing on him. right? And it's all about these demons and, you know, being a better you, right? But having to wrestle with those demons. And it was good. I liked it. It was interesting. I do think like a bit more time and it would really pop. It would really pop, you know? But it was very good. It was definitely one of the stronger ones. And then we ended with Sundown, which is directed by Kimani Ray Smith and written by Al Leston, right? And yeah, this was amusing. This kind of had the same kind of tone as Get Out, right? It is a fun story that played with racism and unconscious bias, and you know how your actions could come back and bite you in the ass in the end. You know what I mean? So you need to be a better person. But yeah, no, this was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Yeah, it did a nice little spin on an old trope, but can't really say too much else because you know that will give it away. But yeah, our main leads were Tony Bell and Erica Ash, who played a husband and wife. And yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It's maybe my favorite of the piece, but I also, yeah, I feel the strongest stories on was probably Sundown was probably the strongest, right? Then you've got Daddy, Brand of Evil, and The Lake all being real solid and good. You know, like Bride Before You, Fugue State. I think they could have done just with a bit more time. They were still decent, but I thought, you know, Sundown Daddy, The Lake, and Brand of Evil, they were probably the strongest shorts. With Sundown being, yeah, probably the overall one with the biggest punch, and you know, it brought it home. It brought it home, so you kind of feel, yeah, they thought this is probably the stronger one, you know. But as I said, look, it opened up well with The Lake. You know what I mean? Wasn't disappointed. It is nearly 2.5 hours. Right? It's nearly 2.5 hours, but it is kind of broken into these chapters because a story finishes, then we get a title card for the next. So you can easily pause and come back or finish watching. Like, I've seen it asked, you know, why wasn't this just put out as a series? Which I understand, but I also understand putting it together, you feel possibly strengthens it as a whole, right? I think there's possibly that. And the thinking of maybe people will definitely watch it all the way through and watch all of them rather than just dipping in one and maybe leaving the others if it was just there as a series. But, you know, it could have been either, right? And I think it would have worked as either. But yeah, it's a film. I do have to give big props to Chris Catt over at Creepy Catalog because he is the only person that I kind of found had put all this information together. You know what I mean? With the names of the directors and all of that. You know, the directors, the writers, the lead actors, actresses, because, you know, it's very frustrating, right? You put together this anthology to support black talent. You don't have a website that lists, you know, the different segments and who did those segments. right? That seems kind of crazy to me. Even on the Shudder website, Shudder people, you drop the ball, they don't do that. And I do believe on some of the, I do at least one of the anthologies, I do remember they did break it down, right? So I don't know why they didn't, right? It would have been really helpful, just for people to watch it and go, oh, who did that one, right? Now, look, you could stop it, rewind it to that point in the film and be like, right, but that, it just takes a lot of time, right? And not everyone's gonna do that or want to go back and do that, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think just list it. So yeah, Chris at Creepy Catalog, he put that all that information together, mad helpful. So yeah, props to you for that. But look, I enjoyed this. I feel anthology fans, they will enjoy it. If you liked Scare Package Yummy and the Mortician Collection, I think you will enjoy this, right? If you enjoyed Get Out, as I said, look, Sundown has that kind of tone, but yeah, like this, it deals with these themes and messages, and it doesn't shy away, especially with the lake jumping out with that, which you just think, ooh. So yeah, I think this is a decent watch, people. So yeah, it's on Shudder, and if you are a horror fan, I imagine you do have Shudder. If you don't, people, go jump on that shit, because hey, if you sign up, they give you a 7-day trial, right? So yeah, it's worth it, people. Go check it out. But yes, Horror Noire is gonna be out on the 28th of October. So yeah, maybe grab that and watch it for Halloween, right? Get your frights in. Enjoy, people.